Still with election news now, South Africans living in London are participating in the national poll, marking a milestone in the promotion of democratic practices overseas. And to get the latest updates from the polls, let's now cross live to SABC News correspondent Sam Ashoo, who is right outside one of the polling stations there. Sam, a very good morning, I suppose, to you. Look, a big day for South Africans out in London today. Also, the biggest voting station abroad, 24,000 registered to vote there. How is the turnout? Take us through how voting has progressed throughout the day. Were voting stations as well as voting materials ready on time?
Yeah, afternoon everyone, lovely to see you. Yes, as you mentioned, 25,000 registered voters here, and some of them have been here in Trafalgar Square from the early hours. One man I spoke to this morning, the first was voting since just at 4:30 this morning. If you're at the back of the queue now, you're looking at around about a 6.5 hour wait, but that is not deterring voters here. It's like pride or duty are often terms that are used by people that I've been speaking to here at London Trafalgar Square. We'll come on to some of the people you'll probably see around me very short. In terms of Trafalgar Square, just to give you an idea of where we are at in London, it's deemed as possibly the most central place of the UK's capital. It's around about an hour or so from the very well known Palace of Court. But as I said, it's still one really. They're just so to get their vote. And from the people I've been speaking to, it's necessarily about who they're voting today, about the idea of bringing the country together.
All right, unfortunately, we are losing a connection there to London. That is Sam Ashoo, SABC News correspondent there. And of course,
we're back. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes, absolutely,
it must
Sam.
be the
Go
amount
ahead.
of people that are here in Trafalgar Square, possibly one of the reasons as to why we cut off. I tell you what, let me bring in Engatani, who's joined me as well, who's looking resplendent. Engatani, lovely to see you. Could you quite believe just how many people have turned out here this morning?
It's amazing to see. Apparently 24,000 people are due to be this week. To see so many South Africans here, being so friendly. Mini South Africa in the middle of London.
Special moment that we just missed as well, where a song burst out, which was of course the national anthem. Tell us about that, the pride that you must have felt in that moment, because essentially we've got all the people here singing the national anthem in the centre of London at Trafalgar Square.
It was so beautiful. It's such a special anthem, you know, sung in four languages of the 12 or 11 official South African languages, and it's just a unifying song. She was registered in South Africa, but I was able to get a VEC 10, which is basically a form that allows you to register in a country outside of South Africa. I've been here since about 10:30, and it took about 3 hours for me to cast my vote. And it was just so lovely to just meet so many other South Africans in the process. We're having biltong and just like reminiscing about being back home. It's just so beautiful. Regardless of what political party you're voting for, I feel like this is definitely our 1994. So it was beautiful.
You mentioned the biltong. I believe you've got Boerewors with you, or biltong?
It's Boerewors.
You got some
and I'm
Boerewors.
definitely going to give you guys some afterwards.
Well, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Really appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us on SABC.
Thank you. Cheers.
So that was Engatani there, and as you mentioned, she summed it up really. It's just a bit of a carnival atmosphere. You can probably hear behind me, you can probably hear down behind me as well, people having a really good time. But of course, what is a very important day for South Africans across the world and here in London.
Look, Sam, now we've had a flurry of new political parties as well as breakaway parties in the recent months leading to these elections. How well informed are those voters right next to you? And of course, about the latest political developments. And who are they saying they're going to vote for, Sam?
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear your question there, but I'm going to presume that it was around the issues that voters are looking for here, particularly within London. And a lot of the people that I've been speaking to, they're young voters. And in one way, shape or form, they are looking for change. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that will be reflected in who they're voting for. They're looking for, whether it's crime, the economy, they're wanting change, and that can be the case across the world, can't it, particularly with young voters. But here, from the people that I've been speaking to in the centre of London, that seems to be the case. So whilst there is a good atmosphere, there has been a good atmosphere throughout the day, there is a serious point here to be made, and these are by far and away not apathetical voters. These are people that are voting with their head and with their heart as well.